Welcome back! The Doctor is in. Today is part 5 of my mini-series on the new notable units that I wrote for Technical Readout 3150. Today, I'm finishing up the BattleTech notable units that I wrote for this book. The reason I'm only discussing the notable units is because the entries themselves were reprinted from earlier TRO sources. The only new material in this TRO was the notable units. The reason for this was to help fill the gap as to current events in the 3145 to 3150 time period. This is both to help advance the storyline and fill in some interesting sites of battles, but also to give customers something new in this book since the entries themselves were previously published. So let's go ahead and get started. The first of these notable units that I wrote is the Anzu. I wrote two notable units, as you can see on the screen. The first, Hauptmann Jessifer Niedermeyer, is a guerrilla fighter on Hollbrunn after it was conquered by the Wolf Empire. If you're unaware of the storyline progression, Clan Wolf relocated from its original occupation zone during the clan invasion of 3150. They moved across the inner sphere to where the former Free Worlds League was and carved out their Wolf Empire from worlds from the former Free Worlds League and from some Lyran Commonwealth worlds. So here, her world has fallen. She has become a guerrilla fighter, trying to resist the conquerors. Her rotary autocannon and missile launcher have not had ammo in a year. She's been reduced to just her PPC and her medium laser. So this is kind of a harkening back to the original 3025 Third Succession War era of the BattleTech universe, in which equipment was always failing and breaking down, and mech warriors had to go into battle with partially functioning battle mechs or mechs that had been cobbled together from the remains of other battle mechs. I'm just trying to conjure a little bit of that feeling. And somewhat with the fatalist necessities of someone fighting for their world after it's been conquered. The other notable unit is Star Commander Neil, who is in the 11th Wolf Garrison Cluster, who originally piloted a Loki 2, which I'll be discussing next. And Neil is a freeborn, meaning not one of the genetically engineered individuals who is gestated in an iron womb and then decanted. Instead, he was born the old-fashioned way, and even as a freeborn warrior, he is a Rise Star. This is one of the clan words for Rising Star, and he's considered a Rise Star because of his exceptional natural skills and relentless drive to excel. In March of 3146, he showed that he had the true heart of a wolf in running down elements of the First Protectorate Guardians who had been raiding. And that's just a standard sort of notable unit. You try to give a brief description in order to highlight not only that traditionally gestated humans are skilled warriors, but also that they are as savage as their trueborn companion or comrades. For the Loki Mark II, this might be the shortest notable unit that I ever wrote because of the technical data appearing both in the top left and the bottom right of this page. The word count for this notable unit was severely restricted, and I fortunately got to write the Bounty Hunter. The Bounty Hunter is a title passed down from individual to individual, somewhat analogous to the Dread Pirate Roberts from The Princess Bride. However, usually the title is passed down when someone kills the bounty hunter in combat and then takes possession of the bounty hunter name and property and reputation and everything. Here I've left it somewhat mysterious as to why the bounty hunter replaced his Ruin Marauder 2 with a Loki 2 without giving any other explanation, and partially because there's no space to do so. So this is one of these instances where the limitations were not necessarily something I could overcome. Hopefully this was just enough of a hint that there's a story to be told, and there's just no space in this instance to tell the story. Next up is the Thor 2. Again, technical data on the right and left greatly limited the word count for this particular notable pilot. And in fact, it starts in the second column. Let me just move this over here a little bit. So here we have Rio Jones, who is considered a washout by the Knights of the Republic. The Republic is the Republic of the Sphere. However, Rio is actually a ghost knight. They are some of the covert sort of operatives, so his notion of being a washout is part of his cover identity. And since Fortress Republic established the wall, he's been out putting down rebellions throughout Prefecture 10. And he is the source of rumors of a lone Thor ambushing pirates and thugs in greater numbers, and this leaves no ambiguity as to his actual talent in the cockpit. Next, we have the Lu Wei Bing. The Lu Wei Bing is a new assault mech for the 3150 era. Song Shao Kang of the 1st Liao Guards is the first notable unit. When Kang was commanding a raid of Deneb Kaltos, it happened to be at the same time that the 4th Diron Regulars sent a recon raid. This was in May of 3146. This is a rare instance of the Capellans fighting the Draconis Combine, because the Federated Suns lies between them. However, they have both been invading and conquering vast swaths of the Federated Suns, so it makes sense to have those two nations fight one another. They are not allies, they simply have the same enemy. The other notable unit is Captain Nico Schofield, who owns a small-time mercenary unit, Schofield's Garrisoneers. Of course, Garrisoneers means they try to take garrison contracts. And he's happy that all of the war engulfing the Inner Sphere hasn't reached Fedora's land, where they are currently holding a garrison. His company has a lance of Lu Wei Bings because they are easy to maintain. They are convenient for mercenaries to have when they can get them. And that's a good thing, since they're just repelling pirate attacks and minor raids, nothing major. At least not yet. And the last mech I'll be discussing, so this is the last of the battle mechs that I wrote notable units for in TRO 3150. This is another case where with an Omni-Mech there is insufficient space because of the additional technical data on the right, so let me just move this over a little bit. And here, the notable units include perhaps the most notable unit that I've written for a TRO, Julian Davian. Davian's Templar 3 is called Arthur. It was given to him by Devlin Stone before Julian returned to the Federated Suns in 3146. The Ministry of information intelligence, and I'm blanking on what MEO stands for. Forgive me, everyone. They disassembled the Omnimech because they believe it has some kind of bugs in it or faulty equipment that will affect Julian's performance in battle, perhaps lead to his death. They haven't found anything, but they're convinced that it's got some kind of a gremlin in it, even though it has performed flawlessly in battle. This is just me trying to inject a little bit of intrigue as to the motives for why Devlin Stone would give Julian Davian this brand new Omnimech. And the other notable unit is Captain Casey Duncan, who assembled a company of anti-Davian personnel from the Hansen's Rough Riders and went AWOL. She took this company into the Capellan Confederation because she wanted to kill Davians before there were none left. When the Capellans refused to hire her mutineers, she began mounting small independent raids on the same worlds that the Capellans were assaulting. However, this ended up costing her Templar 3 when the 2nd McCarran's Armored Cavalry believed them to be pirates. That took out her original mech. She salvaged the Templar 3 on Menkalanen to replace her battle mech, which isn't specified, but she has yet to put that new Templar 3 into use. So that is the last of the battle mechs whose notable units I wrote for TRO 3150. The 6th and final part will discuss the aerospace units and some VTOLs, which were not covered during the 2 combat vehicle parts of this miniseries. So look for part 6 coming up. That's all I've got for you today. The Doctor is out.